I haven't updated in a little while, so I figure I'd give you guys at least a quick update what's been going on lately. So last time I leaned on the light switch. Ooh, this is chaotic already. So yeah, here's what happened. So I plan on posting a video the end of September and giving you guys a little update on what I'd been doing. And I got this migraine from hell that lasted for like 2 weeks. I legit thought that I was gonna die because every single remedy that I used just was not working for me. I was not okay. Just about the time that started to clear up and I started to feel somewhat better, I got COVID. And so then I was down for another 2 weeks, recovering from all that. So then I went to my doctor for something else unrelated. I was renewing my medical leave. And while I was there, I was like, hey, something needs to give, okay? Because I've been trying to lose weight for 2 years now, get back where I was before. And instead of losing, I'm gaining. I have no self-control. I'm binge eating like crazy. I don't know what else to do. And he was like, it might be time to try something different. So I'm talking to my doctor, okay, well, what do you mean, let's try something different? And so we talked about what I felt were some of the causes of this weight gain. And I said, I really believe that my ADHD is a major contributing factor. And he says, that's not unusual for people with ADHD. He's like, are you suggesting that you want to go on ADHD medication? I said, unless you got a better suggestion, that's what I'm thinking. And he says, well, is it affecting other parts of your life, or is it just your weight loss that it's affecting? And I said, while it does affect most of my life, my work life, my home life, whatever, it's not like detrimental at all. It's actually kind of an asset. So not really. And he goes, well, here's the thing. He goes, there is a shortage on ADHD medications right now. And I said, well, the one that I'm looking at, there's not a shortage on. And it's supposed to help with depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, which is a problem of mine, and ADHD, all problems that I have. And he says, okay, but he goes, is the depression and anxiety a problem for you right now? And I said, no. And he goes, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I was open to hearing what he had to say because at this point I'm kind of at a loss. And he asked me about why it's been so difficult for me to lose weight. And I said, okay, so I know what I'm supposed to eat, right? I know what I'm supposed to eat, but I'm just not able to make myself eat those things. He says, okay, why is that? And I said, well, when I try to do that, I just end up binging, or just I start obsessing about whatever food it is that I'm, trying to hold off on eating. I'm not restricting myself per se, but I'm like trying to hold myself off from eating it till like maybe the next day or something like that. But all I can do is just obsess about that food until it makes its way into my mouth somehow. I said, then I end up eating a ridiculous amount, which I know is unhealthy, but I don't even think about it in the moment. All I'm thinking about is I need to get this food in my mouth sooner rather than later, or I might die. And he's like, yeah, that's not normal. And I'm like, okay, so like I need to know what to do though, because this can't go on. I said, my blood pressure was completely under control when I had lost weight before. And I just want to get back to that because I said, I really don't like the way that this blood pressure medication makes me feel. And he says, what's the part that you don't like the most? And I said, I don't like the body aches and joint pain. And he goes, that's not even a side effect. And I'm like, yes, it is. It says right on the box, it's a common side effect. And he's like, no. One thing I don't like is when somebody argues with me about a fact that's literally on the box. And I'm like, I'll pull the list out right now if you want to see it. It says it's a common side effect. So whatever, I'm not going to argue with you. And he goes, well, it just seems to me like you just have a lot of complaints about side effects and you never take the medication I prescribe you. I said, well, maybe if you prescribed me something that the side effects weren't things like excruciating pain or death, maybe I'd be more inclined to take it. That's all I'm saying. You know, there's a million other medications out there. You'd think you'd prescribe those instead. I'm not trying to seek any kind of medication that is, you know, potentially addictive or harmful. I just want something that isn't going to make a bad problem worse. That's all I'm saying. I said, I haven't been able to get off the couch because I'm always in pain. I said, I don't exercise at all because I hurt all the time. I said, every joint in my body hurts. Every muscle in my body hurts. My skin hurts. I said, that's not normal, and it's not how I used to feel before I started taking the medication. And I said, it just so happened that I was off the medication for like a week or two because I messed something up. And I said, all of a sudden, all that pain went away. And I was like, that's weird. But then as soon as I started taking the medication again, I started hurting again. Doesn't take a genius to figure out what the problem is. So he goes, well, so then what are you proposing? And I said, I would just like to lose the weight. I know that's going to be the solution. I just want to lose the weight. Then I can get off the blood pressure medication and I can also, you know, potentially lower my risk for other stuff as well. But I said, I have no control. None. No discipline, no control, no focus, no motivation. He says, let me think about this for a minute and I'll get back with you in a second. He's like, I'm thinking of a couple different things that might work for you. So, you know, we finish up the exam and he goes, I think I have the solution for you. And I'm like, well, I certainly freaking hope so because I can't go on living like this. He recommends this medication. He's like, you take it once a week. It's an injection. It was originally designed for another purpose, but it's had good results in people who have binge eating disorder. And I think this might be a solution. He goes, if you already know what you're supposed to be eating, this will help you make that choice a little bit more easily because you won't be constantly thinking about this other food. Matter of fact, you probably won't be thinking about food at all. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. And he goes, really? Because normally I got questions. I'm like, you know, I'll be like, but does it do this? But does it do that? You know, but I'd actually read an article recently about the success of this drug for people with binge eating disorder. And I was like, I'm down for that. Well, I agreed. I agreed almost immediately because that's how desperate I am. It's like, I know what I'm supposed to eat. I know what I'm supposed to do. But for some reason, I can't make myself do that. So he's like, all right, well, if you're willing to try it, let's make that happen. My first week on this was probably the most anxiety-inducing week I've had potentially in my life. And it wasn't caused by what you think. I got really anxious because I didn't have one craving that whole week. And I'm like, there's got to be something that I crave. Nope. And all of a sudden, towards the end of it, as it's kind of wearing off a little bit, I did crave something. I craved chips. And I was like, see, here we go. It's not going to work. You know, ideally, I would just have a handful, satisfy the craving, and move on. With binge eating disorder, I would have a handful, feel so proud of myself, and then about 15 minutes later, still thinking about it, be like, I'll just have one more handful. And then I'd eat that. And then about 15 minutes after that, I'd be sitting with the bag in front of me, not even thinking about it, and just mindlessly polishing off the bag. That's how my thing works. I feel so proud in the moment because I just had one handful, but one handful turns into 3/4 of the bag. here I am with that handful of chips going, well, that's just great. I guess this isn't working after all. Well, it was a nice try anyways, but maybe, you know, as I go up higher in dosage, I won't have this problem. But here's what happened. I stopped after one handful. I had no desire to have more. I satisfied my craving and then I moved on. And I actually got anxiety because I've never had that experience in my entire life. I have never been able to have just one small bowl or one small handful. And I was so jealous of people who had the discipline to have just one small bowl and one small handful and then move on with their life. It didn't consume every thought in their head. I was so jealous of those people because I couldn't do it. So my second week of being on this medication, I get a craving for an egg salad sandwich and broccoli salad because apparently I like farting a lot and I like it to be as stinky as possible. So I go make myself a sandwich, a whole sandwich, you know, whole grain bread, some egg salad, and then my broccoli salad. And it's like not the super creamy kind. It's more of the, I don't know, it's just less creamy. I really like that brand. I get it like, it's sort of like one of those prepackaged salads, but you have to mix all the ingredients and that's it. But it was so good. And I have portion containers that I bought, which my doctor was really excited about. He's like, yeah, that's actually a good thing, you know, help you with your portion control. Except I could never control my portions. I'd always go for seconds because it wasn't enough. But I'd been noticing using my portion containers, all of a sudden, those portions were almost too much. I was stuffed. I didn't want to finish it. I'm used to the portions that I used to eat, and now I'm cutting it back, and it still doesn't seem like enough. But I thought, you know, I'm hungry right now. I'm really hungry. I feel hungry. So I made about 1.5 cups of broccoli slaw, and then I made a sandwich to go with it. And I thought that's going to be more than enough. I may not finish the whole thing, but I'll finish most of it. So I thought. I got through half of the sandwich. I didn't even get to the salad. And I was done. I was full. And the thing I notice about this particular medication is that it always feels like I just had a big dinner, or like it reminds me of Thanksgiving when you've stuffed yourself just to the gills. You're not quite ready to throw up, but you're super full. And then someone suggests, hey, let's have dessert. And I'm just like, can we wait a little bit? Because I'm still full. That's how I feel all the time. And it's so foreign to me. I don't think I've ever known that feeling since before puberty. I do remember feeling like that before puberty. But as soon as puberty hit, my appetite took off and has never stopped. But back when I was younger, in like my teens and 20s, I had a metabolism, for one, and for two, I had the ability to exercise, like hardcore. I don't have that anymore. My metabolism has like cut in half, and maybe even half of that. So I don't have that metabolism anymore. It's still better than most of my friends at my age, but it's a lot less than it used to be. And also, because of my back issues and my chronic pain and my migraines, I can't exercise the way I used to. It's really hard when like basically all your favorite exercises are off the menu. Sucks, but I mean, what can you do? I'm just trying to focus more or less on my eating. If I can exercise a little bit, I can still walk. So I do like to hike when I can. But because I'm so out of shape from all this time, you know, being on my back because of the sore joints and muscles and everything, it's taken some time to bounce back. And I do have a treadmill at home. So, you know, hopefully this winter I will feel more ambitious to get on that and work out at home. I still have my gym membership because I'm too ADHD to remember to go down and cancel it. So maybe I'll go down there and use that. Who knows? Something's got to give, and it's got to give somewhere. And I need to do more than just eat healthy. You got to exercise at least a little bit. This medication is helping me focus now more on healthy eating, because when you're not hungry, you may as well eat something healthy, because, I mean, you don't care either way. Whether it's healthy or unhealthy, you're not hungry. So may as well just eat something healthy and be done with it. It's really helped, my focus is better. So maybe it wasn't the ADHD. Maybe I have something else going on. But definitely did not have any discipline up until that point. So yeah, I'm just happy that I'm not constantly ravenous anymore. I'm happy that I'm not, absolutely miserable because I can't control anything that I eat. So that's good. Do I know what the results are going to be after I stop taking this medication? Because you can't be on it forever, as far as I know. That's the part I'm a little bit apprehensive about. But I'm hoping that maybe by then it will have trained my brain that you don't need all this food. Or, maybe it'll train my stomach, to not accept as much food. But I don't know. I don't know how any of that's going to work. I hope it works, because obviously something's got to give. And if I want to get this blood pressure under control and I want to get my health under control, then I'm going to have to do something. And I figured, I'd rather do this quickly, get it done, get it over with, rather than dink around for 5 more years and get even fatter and get even more unhealthy. And, I just don't see the point in that, because I don't feel like I had a lot of time left. I just felt so unhealthy in that moment, and then add COVID to the mix. I did not feel like I was going to live. I really didn't. I felt terrible. And I just don't want to live the rest of my life wondering if this is going to be the thing that takes me out. And so this way I can still enjoy my life. I can still eat foods that I enjoy, but I'm not going to gorge myself on it. I can still go out with my friends, and, I don't drink or anything like that. So I don't have to worry about, that affecting my blood sugar or anything like that. I can just go live my life and eat healthy 99% of the time. And then when I, do have a social life once in a while, I can just do that. And not go crazy. But everybody does have an opinion. For the most part, everybody's been super supportive and just super like, I'm so glad you're finally taking control of your life. I'm so glad that, that this is having a positive impact for you. And, so I am happy about that. But there are a few people out there who just really have strong opinions like, well, you just need to have more discipline. And it's like, duh. But, if you don't possess the discipline to start with, if that part of your brain that gives you the discipline doesn't even exist, what do? How do you manage if you never have it in the first place? People are just like, hey, you just need to have more discipline to make your pancreas work properly. Who says that to a person? But when you have like an invisible illness like, ADHD, nobody understands that this genuinely isn't in my control. I have no control over this. There's literally a deficiency in my brain that is causing this to happen. And I'm very limited on the types of medication that I can take because of my heart issues and whatnot. So, I'm kind of limited on how I can deal with this. And everybody just thinks it's just so simple. Well, all you have to do is this. And I'm like, yeah, that would be great if my brain functioned on a neurotypical level, but it doesn't. So clearly there's something going on up here, like I've said before to my doctor, not like it's within my control. I definitely try. But if it doesn't exist, what can you do? But so far this month, I have lost 14 pounds, and I'm super proud of that. I haven't had that in a really, really, really long time, where the scale has been moving in a downward way. I have a lot of people with strong opinions about, well, you look fine, you don't look bad. And I'm like, I didn't think I looked bad. I'm doing this for my blood pressure and only my blood pressure. I don't care about anything else. Or I had somebody say, you know, once you lose all that weight, you're going to have like loose skin here, and you're going to have loose skin on your belly and loose skin on your thighs and your arms. I'm like, I don't care. I'm almost 50 years old. Like, I'm going to have loose skin. I'm going to have wrinkly skin. I'm going to have saggy boobs. It's part of getting older, and I don't care. If you don't like it, don't look at me, you know? And they're like, well, you know, because you're single. And I'm like, you know, if a guy really wants me to look that way that bad, he can pay for it. I'm not. But I've never heard one guy complain yet. That's all I'm saying. So anyhow, I'm going to get off here after this massive rant. But I wanted to let you know where I was going and what I've been doing. I want to let you know that this isn't 100% about all of a sudden I've just magically taken control of my life and taken control of my eating, and now I'm magically better. I'm not. It's just I have found a medical intervention that is helping me thus far. Did I want to do that? No, but I kind of was in a desperate situation, and I decided to take drastic action. It's no different than someone who's, you know, say 600 pounds and decides to have gastric bypass. They're not doing it necessarily to look good. They're doing it because if they keep going like that, they're going to die. And that's how I felt. So it's me taking control of my health. And sometimes you have to make some difficult decisions. And that's the decision I made. It may not be for you. And if it isn't, good. Good for you if you can do it naturally. I'd rather do it naturally, honestly, but it just ain't working out that way. I'd rather jump on it now while I'm still at the size I am, rather than wait until shit's so far out of control that I don't think I can ever rein it back in. So, I'm more of a proactive kind of person. So anyhow, I'm not going to go into all the details of what medication I'm taking. You could probably take a guess if you follow other people who are taking that similar type of medication. If you want to know more about it, you can email me at the link provided in the description box. But other than that, you know, I'd rather just keep it on the down low because, you know, you have to make those kind of decisions with your doctor, and I'm not going to be the one that gets on here and says, you know, oh, you should try this, because I'm not a doctor. But if you feel like this might be the answer to all your prayers, you've tried everything, you've tried it the natural way, you've done all the calorie counting or the portion controlling and blah, 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 and it's just not coming together for you, talk to your doctor. You know, maybe they have a better suggestion. They may not be supportive of that kind of intervention, but mine was. So, every doctor's different. Every individual that's going through this struggle is different, and you got to do what's best for you and your health. So, anyhow, I'm going to get off here because I continue to ramble, and I need to finish getting my house pulled together for my friend to come over. Maybe I'll give you some updates on that. I don't know. She's not really big on cameras, so. But anyhow, I'm going to get off here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week and a wonderful win, and I will talk to you later.